do we need to do anything for this as far as recording, or this will take care of
No,
everything?
I started recording just because we usually roll into it. And I don't think you guys have to do anything at all. It's going to send me your audio files, and that's it.
That's crazy.
That's
and you have
amazing.
the free edition, or you have the?
I don't know. I actually signed up with our work, which is North South Productions, that email. And for some reason, the last time we did this, it was past 40. So if we get cut off at 40, we'll see. We'll just play it by ear how much of an episode we got. And
that's because more than 2 people, it cuts off at 40. 2 people is okay.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
That's
So then at 40 minutes, which is actually probably since I started this, well, I just started recording, but it started this meeting. Yeah, it says 40 minutes at the top. We'll see where we're at. If that's enough, that's enough. That's fine.
Fine. Love it.
And look, if our listeners just like come at us with like pitchforks, we'll deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah. We need more. Let me ask you a question, guests. Would be my heaven.
Yeah, well, this is great. Thank you guys for being here. Do we think Greg is going to join?
I'm guessing not.
Yeah, I would say no. I think
Okay.
he's probably got some family stuff going on. I mean, with the child.
If he pops in, that's a fun surprise. But if not, no big deal.
Right on.
Joe, any business before we get going?
I don't think so. Are we going?
We're going.
Oh, okay. No, I guess not. Is that anyone having a drink? Am I the only one?
I'm definitely having a drink. This is like my 2.5 whiskey right now.
Yep,
Oh,
I got
nice.
a red wine going from a bottle that said the Pinot Project. Isn't that cute?
Yeah.
When
that's
you
goddamn
guys
adorable.
were on our show, you
Mhm.
pointed out that I've become more twangy, and since then I hate myself now.
Are
Thanks.
you kidding me? No, you have to
No,
lean into it.
stick
I
with
love
that.
it.
I'm wearing my trucker hat and I'm drinking a Coors Light Silver Bullet. I was gonna drink a Busch beer.
I got my trucker hat too. So I'm glad. One of the fun things about filming this, and not everyone is doing that, but this hat says Staten Island and there's guns on it. It's like the Staten Island Gun Club, gun and rifle.
That's fantastic.
Nice.
It's
gotta
weird that we
read it.
have one. It's a pretty exclusive
Yeah.
club. I think it's hard to get into.
Colonial Rifle and Pistol Club. Wait, is this still active? If it's still active, I almost
Yeah.
like it less.
It's
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
be.
It's on the Arthur Kill.
Okay, I'm out.
You're out. I'll take it.
It's a good hat, though.
Put on your Von Dutch hat. That's still culturally relevant.
I want you to lean into that twang. You know, like I think I had a Staten Island accent at like a younger age, and then it got to a point where I like lost it. I mean, I could channel it, but like my natural speaking voice is a little absent with the accent. So if you're getting yours
Regional.
back, lean into it.
Yeah, but here's the thing. So I was born in Newark, New Jersey, actually in the same hospital as Anthony,
Cool.
Yeah, oddly enough.
but we didn't know each other. We moved. My parents moved to the Poconos of Eastern Pennsylvania, and I was raised there until I went back to New York when I was in college. And I had no accent growing up of any sort. No New Jersey accent, no Pennsylvania accent. It wasn't until now I relocated to Altoona, even though now I'm in Arlington, Virginia. Thank you very much.
Hmm.
That I gained this accent because Altoona is full of these mush mouth, marble mouth, West Virginia transplants.
Hmm.
Country Godfathers.
All quality people, of course. I think I was talking to a coworker, and Altoona is one of the least diverse cities or towns in America.
Altoona.
Altoona.
It sounds undiverse.
It is undiverse. The best things that come out of there for those people who know. See, now I just said for those people that know.
For those.
I got to work on that.
Well, hold on real quick. There's a spectrum because like if it's too far in either direction, then like you have all these attributes. Like, you know, there are these like Staten Island, what I consider like kind of rednecks that are just too Staten Island for their own good. And then they're bad again. But there's that sweet spot of like, you know, Staten Islanders that like our friend Pete or Max, like they have this like thick Staten Island accent is just delightful. It's charming. It's fun. And I think that everywhere you go, there's a version. So you could keep going.
No,
Do you feel like when you're around Pete or Max, do you lean in? Do you have more of an accent?
I
definitely
certainly
do that
try
with
to.
my family.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
actually. I feel like they'll smell me out. So I think I like try to almost have less of an accent. I'm like, yes, sir. Like I feel like I'm doing a documentary on them. I'm like, all right, you know. But yeah.
I know
Yes.
I know I'm capable of it. I know it's there. It's just waiting to come out. So I try and like take those opportunities to like to make it just to coax it out of me, you know.
Yeah, I did
That's
the same thing.
But you
That's
can't
the
think
thing,
about
too,
it too
like,
hard.
like you're saying, Anthony, like whenever I was in Altoona, I would lean in, not even intentionally, but just because I tend to talk the talk with whoever I'm with. But then my girlfriend, she's from the Midwest. She's from Indiana. And so she would always be like, oh, you went into a New Jersey thing. And then now I'm like hypercritical of how I speak. But whenever you try to enunciate things and not have an accent, sometimes it's even worse. It's just really telling that you pointed that out to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, no.
Yeah, it's really interesting though, because if you lean in correctly, I bet there's a wrong way to do it and a right way to do it. But if you lean in such a way that everybody around you doesn't think about it too much, I bet literally the words you say make more sense to them, which is another layer that's kind of interesting.
Well, yeah, that reminds me, like sometimes if I'm on like Staten Island and I go to like a sandwich shop or something like that, I definitely do lean in a little bit in that situation because I want to kind of be normal. And like, so I'm just like, so I'd
order mozzarella or gabagool.
Not even
full gabagool.
I'll probably say it that way, but that not even like, even if I'm just like, I'll even like have a thing where I'll be like, but not too many roasted peppers. Like I'll have this, I'll take this cadence that's like, you know what I mean? Like, let me.
Yeah, absolutely. I do the same thing with my family, but I draw the line at lopping vowels off the ends of words. That's where I draw the line, but I definitely go more into the Jersey accent when I'm around my family, no doubt.
I do too while ordering though. There's certain scenarios where I'll do that. I'm so Pennsylvania.
Don't even stop yourself. We love it.
Yeah.
But I will whenever I'm ordering, or like if I have to get some work done on my car, I'll definitely throw around the Newark thing a little bit more just to seem like a little more aggressive. And something that definitely when I was in New York, it was let me get a whenever you're ordering something. That is starting to trickle out. It used to be like, may I please have wherever you're at, but now it's let me get a, and like my mom does it now, and she lived in Newark for a couple of years, but we went to a fish market here in the DC area, and she's like, let me get a pound, and I was like, fuck yeah, Ma, you get that pound, let you get that.
That's something though that I can't even like. I do that, but I like my version of the nice way would be like, let me get a, and like, I think I'm being polite, but I'm really just saying, let me get a slower. Yeah. Like, let me get a roasted pepper sandwich. Not too many roasted peppers. Don't get that sandwich, I guess. This is a good time. I should introduce our guests. We have EJ and Anthony from the Let Me Ask You a Question podcast, which Joe and I were just on last week's episode. We had so much fun that towards the end of the episode, I was like, can we just do this again next week for our podcast?
I have to make a little distinction for people out there. We're the Let Me Ask You a Question on Mood.tv. There is another Let Me Ask You a Question who got in a week after us. But,
wow.
So it's like LM.
So we go by LMAYAQ.
Yeah, LMAYAQ.
But if you search Let Me Ask You a Question, Moot.tv, you'll find us anywhere. Or just go to moot.tv.com to check out that episode they were on. It's an excellent episode.
Yeah, I just sent Casey a link to something called squadcast.com or squadcast.fm. It's like, it was just weird that something else existed independently of us,
Yeah,
right.
It happens.
What that website
does. Devil.
Yeah.
But typically it's EJ and it's Anthony, and there's another gentleman named Greg. And what you do, because we're about to do this, is Anthony will ask you guys a question, and whoever else is on your podcast, and then we'll kind of break it down, talk about it for a little while. Is that correct? Did I describe that?
That's absolutely right. That's what we do week in and week out.
Yeah, we wax poetic, because similarly to you guys, Anthony, Greg, and I have known each other for 30 plus years. And so we just like to get silly with each other.
I love that. That's what.
Now that's country.
That's country.
I also left my closet open this week because last week I had it closed, and Joe was like, leave it open. So this week I left it open. Any questions?
I like seeing what's going on back there. I'm curious about the purple thing all the way on my right when I'm looking at this.
Purple thing.
I'm changing my mood lighting in the room.
Oh, that's nice too, Joe.
Yeah, Joe's going a little purple right now.
Is that blue or purple? There's like a suit jacket or something hanging all the way on the end.
That's blue. That's blue.
Okay, blue.
I can't hear you guys, but hold on.
Here we go.
I love whatever that is.
Currently, he's wearing an olive green shirt and a pinstriped pink black jacket, which is also interesting.
We never break down the fashion.
He's got deodorant just up top there.
So that blue, that's what you're talking about, right?
That's your Elizabeth Warren jacket?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, of course. It's her jacket. When she dropped out, she dropped the jacket. So that
Let me have a jacket.
Also, I have one deodorant in my closet because sometimes, I'm in the, I get out of the shower and I'll use deodorant there. But sometimes you leave that bathroom and you get to your closet and you're like, I forgot to put on deodorant. I got one in here.
Are you still using deodorant? This is my real question right now.
Yeah,
that's a great question.
Great question. Some days, no. Some days, if I shower and I know that I'm not leaving the house at all. Today, I just felt like I needed some normalcy.
Yeah.
And I used deodorant was that.
Feel like the old days.
I have jeans on today too.
Oh, you're crushing it. Oh, this is fancy. I definitely have pajama bottoms on, but luckily
Yeah.
so zoomed into my face, you'd never know.
Oh yeah, that's right. We talked about that.
And you look like you're in a laundry basket, actually.
Yeah, practically. I do.
Looks like you're in front of a green screen.
Yeah.
That's
what
funny.
a room looks like.
I'm dirty enough.
No, it's really fun. A thing we could do right now for the people watching, because I think this view is the way it is. So like if I look down at Joe and Joe looks up, and EJ, if you look down and Anthony, you look up, it'll be like a real Brady Bunch moment.
Brady Bunch. I love it.
See if it works.
I really wish you would have told us that we were being filmed.
Oh,
But you look hot. You look country.
That's right. This is how we
You're on
look.
brand.
yeah.
What would you do differently.
I thought that's why you made your screen lighter. I thought that's why.
I just do that out of consideration for you guys, but I would have showered within the last 3 days.
You look
I
good.
put deodorant on every day, but I shower when I remember.
Do you?
Actually,
That's
when I
even
forget
crazier.
how many days it's been, that's usually when I do. I'm like, what's it?
You're deodoranting every day?
Every day. I stink,
Wow.
so I am very self-conscious of this.
What are you guys going to do about haircuts? What's the plan for you guys?
I think literally almost right after this podcast, this recording, I'm going to do mutton chops connected to the mustache.
Oh, no.
Mm.
I think
I
that's
tried
my
that
next
a
step.
couple months ago. Remember, Casey?
Yeah, I
Tell me
did.
about that.
I sent Casey like a video. I was like, should I do this? And I had this like Wolverine thing going on, and it was like a resounding, please don't do that.
Now I think everything. I think this is going to have waves. Like it's going to influence fashion for like a while. People are going to be
doubt.
like, either it's going to, as soon as the quarantine is like, let's say there's a day it's over, people are going to be coming out either in their best, like just like dresses and like suits again. And or people are going to be like, no, I think it's just athleisure for the rest of our lives.
Maybe, yeah.
There's going to be a time period where the barber shops haven't opened yet, but people have to go to work. That's going to be the sweet spot, I think, for seeing what people have wrought at home. And I'm curious about that.
I'm going to try not, I'm not going to touch my head for a while, but there's a possibility I may just shave the whole thing off. We'll see.
I was thinking about it too. I mean, like Lisa would freak out. She's like, "This is your brand. You can't do this." But I don't know. There's something about just cutting it all off that seems so fun right now. It's like when people do like a strike beard. There's a solidarity. There's a solidarity to like
plague face.
You've got the hair that my hair always wanted to be. So
you both have excellent hair. All three of you guys have excellent hair.
I've got the hair. I got nothing going on in it right now, but that swoop Casey has, it's a nice swoop.
You got that Italian pump. Come on, don't
love the swoop.
Just
actually
right now.
Anthony and Joe have similar swoops right now. It's similar.
Yeah, we're working the
Italian.
swoop angle.
That 2-day grease swoop. It's nice.
EJ's got that country.
That's right.
That's right.
EJ, how did we meet exactly?
I think we played a show together because I was playing with Brian Bonds and the Dot Hongs at the time. Now I think he dropped all the ands, and we played a show with Paragraph.
Okay, yeah.
You were playing bass.
Our
Casey
band.
was playing drums, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you went to SVA with Rizzo, right?
I did. I went to School of Visual Arts with Mike Rizzo of Bobo Touch, and
you remember the sitcom we made? With
yeah.
Rizzo? No Sotros?
No Sotros. Yeah, I was wondering that was like a one-off though, right? You guys didn't do any more?
Yeah, we did 4 episodes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it though.
One shot. It was it was terrible. But
it was funny.
It was supposed to be bad. It was like the idea was like let's make an anti-sitcom, and it kind of like around the time that show Stella came out.
Yeah,
which we were
Michael Showalter.
It was before. It was actually. I think the idea and and when it came out, it might have been similar, but it was before that.
Well, that's what was interesting. We did it before we knew anything about Stella, and they kind of shared a lot. Stylistically,
the sensibilities. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing, Joe, real quick, I just thought about this the other day. Do you remember 2/3?
Yeah. That was me and you.
That was supposed to be. That was our first like our very like we had always played with other people, but we had I think you and I just jammed once and recorded it.
Do you remember the name of the song? I do.
What's the name of the song?
It was Lollipox and 4/4.
Oh my God! Wow. Anytime you like,
It's very appropriate.
We thought it was really cool and funny to put like the four.
Oh yeah, all the coolest bands put the time signature in the title of the song. Yeah,
And it wasn't 4/4. You didn't throw them for loops.
no, it was. We stayed true to standard time.
Straight up.
I think we thought that was the funny part of like saying like it's in 4/4 time.
I wish every performing artist did that at concerts before they announced their song. This one's in 4/4.
Yeah.
This is 6/8. Here's a 6/8 ditty.
I'm thinking
Wow.
that Broken
There's
Social
a
Scene.
theory heads out there.
7/4 Shoreline. That's
That's
a
right.
great
Yeah.
song. So
Great
I see where you're coming from.
Joe, great memory on the Lollipox in 4/4.
Yeah, I have occasionally good flashes of memory.
I can't believe that. I can't
Yeah.
believe it. I do want to get into the questions before we get cut off. So without further ado, Anthony, would you please take it away?
Okay. All right. Here we go. This is the question for this week. So it's not on Let Me Ask You a Question, but it's the du jour for JV Squadcast. And it goes like this. How far out would you have to go in your family to be totally fine sleeping with them?
Wow. Oh, wow.
Wait,
Yeah. I mean, totally.
Totally fine. So you mean like not
totally
even like
fine.
I'm like, oh yeah, totally.
Like you
I'm not
find
even-
out and it's not weird.
wait, what's the example of an answer for this question?
Maybe 10th cousin, 5th cousin.
Got
I'm wondering
you.
how far we're going down that line.
Maybe
you
your
wouldn't-
aunts. Maybe
like
your
aunt-
mom. Who
Yeah,
knows?
and then on top of
we don't
it,
know.
do you introduce them and then say, my 5th cousin, if you start dating?
So
I'm
now-
curious.
So
You'd
now
be
do you
totally
find out
fine.
before or after? Is this like an intentional? Like, are you seeking out this
Let's
what's
say,
the word
for
it?
instance, for now, let's say you're not seeking it out and you find out, but what would be,
So it's just a
far enough-
lucky little coincidence.
yeah.
Wait, so you hooked up
Right.
first and then you find out? that's what you're
Lucky is a
saying?
good word.
Yeah.
EJ had an interesting point.
Yeah, so you hooked up first and then you find out?
Yeah, I think we should play both sides of this coin because I'm interested in both sides. But for now, let's go with that side.
Do we have the same last name?
No,
If you did, that's on you.
It's a big
I
distinction,
only
you
find out
know?
afterwards.
It does
I
make
mean-
it makes things a lot easier if you do get married. So there's no one actually having to change any documents. I see what
Oh,
you're
that's
saying,
true.
EJ.
I was going
like-
the
I like
opposite
the
way,
Casey
but I
side
like
of
that.
this.
Yeah.
that's fascinating because you go, we have the same last name. You know what? Not weird at all.
Yeah.
I'm not going to look into this.
Yeah,
But that's very easy if your last name is Smith. That could change. That could be anyone. You know what I mean? Like you can meet a lot of Smiths, and I'm sure that's happened plenty. But if you meet an Imburgio, I think it's probably less likely.
yeah,
Yeah.
more particular. Might increase the weird factor, but I hope not. I love the idea of it not increasing the weird factor.
I love the idea of meeting someone with my last name and we're not related. That would be so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, same
Have you
here.
ever
Be
met
more
somebody
awkward.
with your last name that you were not related to?
No, I've not met them. I've looked people online and I just assume we must be related somewhere because it's kind of a specific last name.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
It
So
would be weird
yeah.
if I hooked up with someone that did have my last name and we had no relation, and I would feel like I'd have to go around explaining that to everyone.
If you got
Every
yourself
day.
in a scenario, Joe, where you met somebody with your last name, say you're out or something, you're in a scenario where you could be sleeping with somebody, you meet somebody with your you find out they have your last name, but you don't know the connection. Do you go ahead? Or do you say, we need to get to the bottom of this first?
It would be irresponsible of me if I knew their last name to just pursue this carnal relationship from there.
I don't know.
can't do it.
Let's devil's advocate this. So what are the reasons why people are like you shouldn't do that, right? It's usually because of your like to have a child, right? Is that
Yeah.
where the problem comes in?
That's part of it, yeah.
It is dicey. Yeah.
But in Japan, the last emperor married his first cousin, and that was Japan. So like
Recently?
last president, excuse me, one president ago. So it's like
So
I'm not
it's
gonna say
cool
uniquely
then.
American, but I'm saying it is kind of uniquely American that it's okay and not okay. Because if you check Pornhub, try to find a video where you're not sleeping with your sister, mother, or brother.
It's a lot of step. The stepmother thing is like the number. It's like a hugely searched thing, right?
Oh, yes.
It's not even search. It's just out there. It's like
Yeah.
it
Yeah, you're
replaces
right.
regular stuff. And
Yeah.
they always, as you know, I'm very into the plot of these things, and they always find a way to like mention it or like talk about their familial relations before they
High
get into
step,
stuff.
bro. High step, sis.
Yeah, it's
This
so
is how
weird.
normal
Yeah.
people talk.
Very expository.
It's always like we're not supposed to be doing this. Look to camera.
Yeah.
Say, now when you make the porn series, this is good because you'll have to listen to LMAYAQ to understand this, but we talked about how there's a lack of an actual porn series like a Netflix show that's
I
episodic
know.
and high quality. But an interesting one would be
Game of Thrones.
two Imbergios together at a bar.
Oh, okay. There you go. I thought you were gonna
one Imbergio.
I thought you're gonna go into how I haven't seen it, but didn't Game of Thrones have a lot of this?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I don't know. I'm not
Joe?
sure.
Well, yeah, it takes place in a world where some families are a little more loose with their relations.
Oh yeah.
And I think it's based on like the way things used to be, like royal bloodlines. It was very
Absolutely.
important for people to be related, to keep it in the blood for some reason.
Oh yeah, it
Yeah, I
used
mean,
to be
if you-
such that brother and sister wasn't weird. That used
Yeah,
to be the thing.
You go
That's-
back and there's like pictures of kings and queens and princes, and their chin is like nearly in their throat, which goes back to what you were saying before, Casey. Is like you're not supposed to breathe
Inbreeding.
so close. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not so good.
I
But-
wonder if we would do it if we didn't have society to tell us not to do it. Would we inherently know not to like fool around with family members?
Well, I think the reason why society got to that point is because there was probably a lot of issues with inbreeding
I
that
don't
was
know.
like
I don't
causing.
know how it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what the innate sense is. I mean, that's a really interesting question that I
Yeah,
couldn't
dude.
possibly begin to answer, but I'm totally fascinated by, is there something innate in all of us that we just go, I don't know. I think it's the same thing that gives you pause when you get the last name, you just immediately go, I mean, of course that's cultured, but I'm
Yeah.
curious though.
I one time a friend of ours from Staten Island was like, I hooked up with I had a threesome with like a girl and her sister, and he was like looking basically for like a high five, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, dude. I was like,
Someone really told you this?
yeah. You know who it is. I can't say it now, but
I can't wait to find out later.
it was like, oh, I was like, oh no, that must have been a horrible, sad experience. And it was like, no, man, it's the greatest fantasy. And I was like, oh, okay.
The greatest fan. Did you just understand that person more fully in that moment?
Yeah, I mean, it was like,
I don't understand how that happened. That's dark shit, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that is pretty dark that they added that it's the greatest fantasy, like something of that ilk. If they said something like that, that's fascinating.
Oh yeah, there's never been porns.
It's the kind of
in the thousands about exactly that, about twins. Why? What are you guys being so judgmental?
it's the kind of fantasy that like
Come
a
on,
robot,
Fair enough.
robot would think was a good idea. Like it's almost like the idea of a good fantasy, but it's not actually a good fantasy. Like
Yeah.
like you said, like it's like this thing in like the Penthouse forum where it's like always about hooking up with twins. There's the idea of it, but if it actually happens, it's kind of weird and kind of gross.
Is
Yeah.
it? I've never done it. I'm just saying. I don't know. You
Devil's
guys seem
ad.
like you. Yeah.
All right, now that you're riding the weird high horse there, EJ, why don't you tell us how far out we're going?
Yeah, and
you.
EJ, if you can, EJ, can you put the voice modulator on as well?
Which one? Okay.
Oh yes. Now we're
How
talking.
y'all doing? We're gonna talk about some country fucking.
Yeah, let's hear that country demon.
I'm Boss Hoss, and I'm here to tell you all about what I like to put my thumbs in.
Wow.
It inspires you just be able to do that voice. You've started speaking as a whole new person.
That's the real me, actually.
Oh, I
But,
see.
yeah, this is a voice modulator. I try to sound like a nerdy white guy.
That's what you do with the twins. That's the voice you put on.
So if I had
Twins,
the
ugh.
same last name, because I have a unique last name,
Yeah.
I would definitely have pause.
Yeah.
And the scenario is I find out afterwards and then I regret it, right? It's not like I know going in. That's what we're talking about, right?
Well, I mean, there's two questions going on now. I feel the first
Yeah.
one we've gotten away from a little bit, but I'm a little bit more interested actually now in the more real life circumstances where you do happen upon somebody that has the same last name. And then, what do you do? Like how attractive? What if the sparks are flying?
How do you go about
Mm.
fucking this person?
Yeah. If the sparks are flying, it's a little late. You're texting people in your family to see, have you ever heard of this person? Nobody's getting back to you. How do you pull the trigger?
Well, if we are doing that, it would be really fascinating for me because I would love in some way to meet, because I know it exists out there. If you search Casey Jost outside of me, it's mostly women. So I could meet a woman with my exact first and last name.
No way, I didn't know that.
I mean, yeah,
Oh.
for sure. I could definitely I could,
Have you found them online?
Yeah. I follow.
Are they cute?
Same jawline, same hair color.
All gray hair, really small penis, all the same
Now you're
stuff.
speaking my language. That was almost the question I asked tonight. We'll save that one for another time.
True.
Yeah. So,
I want to meet this girl.
you want?
I do too. I think we all do. Now, if you were to find the
I just want to say, Joe. I just want to say, Joe. If like you met if you like met like the Casey Jost and like had sex with her, I'd be so mad at you.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know why, but I would. I'd be super mad.
I want to
New
do
question. Let's
I know.
gangbang Casey. Oh, not really a question. Sorry.
Now, if you met this Casey Jost, though, maybe that's the true fantasy. That's like that episode of Seinfeld where he dates the person that looks just like him. I wonder if there's something to that.
Yeah. I guess. All right. So if I meet a Casey Jost, and I know that I'm not related, and I think it would be so fun. I've done this where I've dated women that like I thought because I thought it was fun. Joe knows this, but in college, a woman messaged me and was like, "You look just like my ex-boyfriend," and then she like put a. Also, we just got a gift from Zoom. Running out of time. Yeah, great.
Wait,
They knew
what?
this was quality. They
There
knew
was
it.
more
weird.
change in the
We
meter.
could keep going. Yeah, they were like, "You're talking about this stuff. We want to."
Yeah.
So they are
Film
listening.
this.
And they like it.
Wait, so it was a woman who was like, "You look just like my ex-boyfriend," and then she sent like a link or something to his Facebook, and I looked, and he looked just like me. I showed everyone we were dying.
I remember
laughing.
this. Yeah.
And I continued, like I was less interested in the girl, and I just
Sure.
continued because it was so weird. And then I found out that they had broken up like a day before she sent me that message.
Whoa.
So it was clear that I was like this rebound to be like, I'm going to sleep with, or like, whatever, with the person who looks identical.
Like revenge. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
I was, and then I was like, I'm completely cool with this.
Nice.
Yeah. It's
No
nice when
judgments.
everybody knows exactly what it is. That's
Yeah, we
nice.
did. Yeah.
I was flattered.
It is
There is.
flattering.
There is an Antonella DeAngelis that follows me on Instagram, but I do not actually know this person. But now I'm
Nella.
more curious.
That's fun.
For me to answer this question, I think, so the question is what? What's the original question? Where are we going back to?
The original question is, how far out
Mm-hmm.
would you have to go
That's
as far
really-
as cousins to be totally fine? Not
That's
even
fascinating. That's a really fascinating
As
As
question.
long as it's not by marriage, it's totally fine with me. Totally fine with me. It might be a little awkward. Not by marriage. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Wait,
as long
what?
as it's not by marriage. We have to keep this in the blood.
As long as it's not by blood, I have no problem with it. I would defend it. I'd be fine with it if I found out after the fact.
How far down you got to go to that blood becomes a little less
Murky.
bloody, a little more.
Yeah, let's
watery.
get down to the blood.
We
Well, I
talking
don't even-
second
I don't
cousin,
know.
first cousin.
What do you mean? I mean like as long as there's no blood involved, I'm cool with it. As long as like no one,
So they're not actually
there's
related.
no genetic
anymore.
material that I share with this person.
I see. Even if you find out it's a 10th cousin, way up, there is a great something grandparent, then it's a no.
Oh yeah, interesting. I guess if it was diluted that much, sure. If it
Yeah,
was
what's
that
the
far away.
dilution level? We
I'm
gotta
gonna look it up right now.
But the devil's advocate coming in here. I mean, what are we talking about exactly? Like, are you saying like marriage and children? Because that or
No. For now, at least for now, unless the conversation skews that way, at least for now, I'm just talking about
Like
like
a-
a one-off, or you just started dating, or something fresh.
right?
I got some fun. I just looked something up, so this will be a little
Ooh.
fun. So
Hit me.
as far as marriage, because we're not talking about marriage, as far as marriage, it's legal in every state to marry your second cousin. So
Oh,
that
the
would be
state
the
thinks.
son or daughter of your cousin. As far as first cousins go,
So I can marry my cousin's child?
Correct. I mean, your
That seems
cousin doesn't
weird.
have to be the same age as you either. If you think about the way the
Yeah.
crazy, you could have a
I'm glad
cousin.
there's a law that protects that.
You could have a
I
second
would-
cousin your own age.
Before I did anything, I would have to check in with my lawyer,
Yes.
and my
That's actually all
lawyer.
of my relationships.
Yeah.
Our lawyer actually handles family law.
Our lawyer handles family law. I will go out on a limb and say that he's probably handled some cases that are similar. He is this is no joke, EJ and Anthony. We have a sponsor that is a lawyer in Griffin, Georgia, and
Yes.
he handles law, all kinds. And he would be the perfect person to ask for this. And you just have to call 770-415-9848.
That's
That's-
770-415-9848.
And then you could talk to Jody Sellers at the Sellers Law Firm, and he could handle it. So let's say you're in a situation where you're a Southern demon like EJ.
Yeah.
Let's
like,
hear
right
it.
over
Howdy,
here,
y'all.
over
Here
there.
I am.
And tell us your problem, EJ. What's happening?
Well, you see, it's not a problem, but I live in Arizona. And Arizona has an interesting law that says first cousins may marry, but only if you're both 65 years or older.
Wow.
And
Really?
so I won't, because I'm like 1,000,000 years old.
I love that you're
That's what's
probably doing the deep voice with the deep voice. Am I right?
You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong.
So I think honestly, Jody would just be like, yeah, if it's legal, then it's legal. That's Jody's whole thing is if it's legal, it's legal.
Yeah, legal is legal is
It
legal.
was legal. So that goes back to now what we're talking about. You can legally marry your second cousin. I think as long as you're a consenting adult and you're of age, there are no rules about that.
Yeah,
I
but at
think.
the same time, there are legal things I've probably done that don't make me feel unweird. I feel they're not quite the same. So
Mhm.
I am. I mean, in the eyes of the law, they might be fine with it. But second cousin, if I were at the bar meeting a DeAngelis that I didn't know, but found out at some point that they were a second cousin, that would be an instant. I don't think I could do the second cousin. I think it's got to be further than the second cousin.
Second cousin, even if it's not by blood.
Not
Well,
by blood,
in
I
order
think
to
it's
be
totally
second
fine.
cousin, it's still some blood. That's how that would work.
Well,
you
it would
has
be-
to be
I
some
see.
blood there.
Yeah.
It would be the aunt. It would basically the way. Maybe I'm wrong about this, but the way I think about second cousins is it would be, like say you have an aunt and an uncle,
Mhm.
and your uncle is your father's brother, and your aunt is married your uncle, so she's not related to you at all,
Sure.
and it's like her sister's kid.
Oh
Is
yeah.
that a
Well,
second
that's
cousin?
not your second cousin. No, it'd be so your aunt and uncle, they had a kid, right? That's your first cousin. And
Right.
then that person's kid would be your second cousin.
Okay.
Long story short, I would.
So it would
sleep
still be
with that
blood.
person for sure. That would be totally fine with me.
It just
But-
depends how hot
also-
some people are.
But
I
if there
think-
is
I was
blood
going
in
to
it,
say
no
that. Depends
second.
on how hot they are.
But
Oh
also-
yeah, well yeah, there is. Yeah, sure.
So
Are
if
they
you're
twins? Because I mean, that's what we talked about before. That's all.
I mean,
What-
it's never a bonus that they're the second cousin. Like I think there has to be a level of attraction.
Here's a question: what is your mom's cousin? What are your parents' cousins to you? I thought that was second cousin.
That's
I think
also
that's
second
first
cousins.
cousin once removed.
Yes, you're right. I think it is too,
Oh,
Anthony.
is that how that works?
I think that's first
how
cousin
that
once
works. And
removed.
their kids are your second cousins.
Interesting.
Really?
So if I don't think, no, there's
Those
no
people
think
wouldn't
about-
even be related, right? If
I
they were your
certainly
parents'
wouldn't sleep
cousins'
with
kids?
either. Your parents' cousins, yeah, they're related for sure because you share grandparents up the chain. So I would certainly not sleep with any of my parents' cousins' children. No doubt about that. And not by blood, fair game. But I think I'd have to go further. I have to kick that can down the road a little bit to sleep
Yeah.
with anybody.
Now,
Like,
after you just said all that, would you mind telling me that lawyer's name and number again? 'Cause I gotta-
Sellers.
We got Jody Sellers at 770-415-9848.
Yeah,
Yeah.
might have to make a call.
I looked it up, and you cannot marry your first. No, you can marry your first cousin in Georgia. You can.
In Georgia.
Yeah,
You're first.
your first cousin.
Hey,
you
look.
go.
Honestly,
God
like,
bless America.
I'm going back to that thought of if your intentions are just like, if you're not trying, I know it's a little, it's murky, but if you're not looking to procreate, it might be okay in my mind to have. Look, I'm not trying. I'm not. I'm playing that devil's ad. I'm just saying.
I love it.
Because what is the issue? Is it just that it's like society's like, we don't like you doing that? But
I think it's just awkward. It's a little weird if it gets out among your family members.
But that's why I also asked originally that how far do you have to go to not even bat an eyelash?
Yeah, you're saying not feel weird because, like, I agree with Casey too. With like, if you're not having babies, who cares? But like, I probably would feel one way or the other about it. That could be like, like you're not supposed to do it in public, but that don't mean that I don't do it in public.
Yeah, personally, I would go pretty far. I just think that not, it's more so like, there's a lot of fish in the sea, and if I'm a
Some of them
salmon,
aren't your cousin.
if I'm a salmon, I want a little. I don't want another salmon.
Yeah, but there's some hot fish in the genetic pool.
Yeah, I mean,
Love
if you're
all
like,
of
you ever look in the mirror and you'd be like, I look pretty good, and then you're like, well, They look like me, sort of.
There's some people that look like me out there.
Why
Any-
would I pass that up?
Any fish that's in a pool is not very good, I think.
I would
What about
never
koi
bang
fish?
me though. Never. I don't want anybody that looks like me. That would be
Right.
awful.
I agree.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want anybody that looks like you.
Now
either,
we're at-
Anthony.
Yeah. I mean, listen. I understand. I get you.
Nah, I'm
not
just.
gonna- I'm
I
not
sleep
going to
with your
argue.
sister. We good.
Now we're in the territory of if you like, if you had a clone of yourself, what would you do with it?
How would you fuck it?
Oh, didn't we ask this on the MAYAQ? I think we talked about this about if you would date.
If not, we talk about that all the time. So
Yeah, I think we had talked about that, but I said absolutely not. Are you asking me if I had to fuck it? How would I fuck it?
That's what Joe was
Yes,
asking.
That's
Yeah.
my question.
Okay.
Do you think it's possible that there's someone cloned a human, like someone somewhere, some
Yeah. Oh,
new
sure.
European person,
Is
Yeah.
it possible? Yeah, like
Nah,
the guy,
not-
like the
not
human
European, but-
centipede, like
and they kept
that,
the DL?
somebody
Yeah.
like the human centipede doctor did it. I bet. In
I
the
don't know if do you think that exists? Do you think there are these like human centipede doctors that are like making all this stuff? They have enough money to just like fund these weird experiments? You think?
dude, Dr. Mengele back in the
Yeah.
40s did some shit that was
Yeah, you're right.
pretty close, and that's the guy you knew about. And not to mention they made that dolly back in the 90s, and
Yeah, the lamb.
the lamb, and then China's like, we don't talk about stuff. So I'm sure there's some sort of
Hmm.
There's got to be something
amazing-
weird going on somewhere. It depends how many people
Yeah,
are
no
involved. I
doubt.
feel like the less people involved, the more likely it is to happen.
yeah.
Yeah, you think? I wonder if they did it and then it was like they were just like, this is like two cousins having a child, so maybe we should not keep
Maybe
doing
they
this.
did it and they were like, it's not that cool. They were like,
Yeah.
I bet
it's kind of a
they were
waste
like,
of money.
It's just
Yeah,
the
you did
same as a
that.
human. It's just like,
Yeah.
and there's no sex, so it's like let's
Yeah.
get rid of it.
This is stupid.
It's like when you go to the ground round, you're like, okay, we did it. We're good.
Let's call up the Staten Island Rifle Club and have them shoot it.
This question about the cousins, though, it's been a moving target for me because I think I never quite understood like what a first and second cousin was. Once removed, like I'm not even sure now how to. I don't think I ever really had the language or the like the set of
Yeah, how the
words to
genealogy
use
works.
to
Sure.
figure out even how to
Yeah, the once
to, like,
removed
answer
thing
this
is very
question.
new for me. I don't really get that. That seems like so far removed. When you're talking about first and second cousins, I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, I get it. But when they're talking about once removed, I was like, well, it's already removed.
Is it abstract enough for you to bang them?
The
to
once
be honest
removed,
with you,
I think is. Yeah, I mean, I'm like,
to be honest with you, like to really, if like to bring it to a real place, if I ended up hooking up with someone and then found out afterwards that I was related to them somehow, that in itself means that I probably didn't see them at a family party, never really knew them. Like there's some kind of connection. I feel like in any situation where I've hooked up with someone and then find out afterwards that I'm related to them, that means that I don't know them that well, and I would get over it. I'd be like, all right, well, whoops, won't do that again. But like
as long as you don't got to see him at grandma's, what's the big
that's
deal?
kind of the thing. Family's not just blood; it's like who you
Yeah, you know what?
hang
Joe,
out with on
maybe,
Thanksgiving.
maybe you're right. Maybe what it really is how long, because of course I think the people that you would end up sleeping with are probably not the people that you sat at the kids' table with, growing
Yeah.
up. So when you get beyond the kids' table, I think a good judge of it may not be like who are you comfortable with, but how long would it take for you to get over it by degrees?
Sure. Yeah.
Right.
That actually might be a more interesting question. Like if there was some second cousin that I didn't know about, sparks were flying one night, stuff happened. I would, if I found out, I would definitely go, I would have a little Mr. Yuck in my head for a second.
Okay.
But I'd get over it. I'd get
Yeah.
over it.
Like I have cousins that don't really look like me, but my dad has cousins who probably have kids that I would never ever like look. I haven't met them, and so I mean I've seen photos and they look nothing. So it's like you're never like meeting a girl and being like you're like wait, are we related before we go any further? Like
That would be a hilarious question to ask people though on any date.
yeah.
You gotta do that in the town that I used to live in. I'm telling you, you're in Johnstown. You're like,
You're asking for trouble.
There's
Wow.
only like 2,000 people, and you're like, you're a cousin somehow.
I think that if it was a situation where it's like it's not like I definitely didn't know, and then I sort of like found out, and I don't even know how that would even happen, but if I found out and it was like a child of a parent's cousin, well, that's a once removed, right?
Child of a parent's cousin is going to be that's your second cousin. Child of a parent's cousin is a second cousin.
Oh,
I
okay,
thought
yeah.
that was once removed.
That's
Once
Your
removed
second
is your
cousin
parent's
was your
cousin.
cousin's kid.
The once removed is your parents' cousin.
Child of your
Oh,
parents.
parents' cousin. Wait, a parent's cousin is once removed, and their kid is a second cousin, or a second cousin once removed.
No.
No, second cousin.
Your aunt and
kid's second
uncle's
cousin.
kid's kid is second cousin.
No, your aunt. This is so complex.
This is why people fuck their cousins.
Yeah, exactly. Because they whip
all the
out
maps
all the
is so horny.
genealogy maps. Sitting there looking at the family tree at the bar, going, "All right, your branch is far enough away."
Yeah.
This is why people get obsessed with family trees too. They want to see who they can fuck.
Yeah, that's it. You're right. They.
You think anybody's ever refused to look at their family tree because they don't want to limit their options?
I'm going to give you another. Since Joe, that's a good point. I think Joe, I want to give you a little a scenario, because since you're a plot queen. So there's like these second cousins, or let's say even first cousins, and they grew up together, and they were best friends. And then they got into their like late 30s, 40s. They have never really found love. And then, they run into their second cousin or cousin again, and they're like both in a similar situation. And they're like, hey, like, let's move in together and like spend our lives together. I'm not going to judge them. I don't,
That's fine. Honestly, the first time me and my dad kissed, like, it was weird, but like,
right. You needed it.
We made it work. Yeah.
In that way, because you were both lonely little babies.
Yeah, we were both single. No, to that scenario, sure, that seems fine. I guess for those people in their world, who are we to judge? As long as it's legal.
But don't make it sweet. We're talking about nasty fucking. Yeah. We're talking about 69ing after you took a
fuck
shit.
Your clone.
69ing after a shit. It's funny because it's not that bad, but I get it's bad.
Pretty close to being bad.
Yeah, you're close to bad.
Close to the garbage can.
Yeah, you're almost rimming. Which,
actually,
by the way, the
regular,
CDC has now said don't do rim jobs. I saw that and it tickled me, and I was like, these millennials be eating ass, spreading that COVID. But
I've been waiting for them to say this, so I'm glad.
I thought they said it was okay to rim.
No, actually, they're saying it's not okay to rim.
Shit. I think that changed because I think at one point it was okay.
The problem is shit. Yeah, I would say that it would need to be pretty far. It would need to be like third cousin or something, and then it would need to be like, because when it becomes like where it's like where you get to trace it and it's far enough that you're both like, oh, that's actually funny, and like you're kind of like, oh my god, I can't believe it, but you're also like laughing about it. That to me is fun.
Yeah, the real question is like, how far away would you go, or how far out would you go to go back for seconds?
Yeah, I think, I mean, to go back for seconds, that's really interesting because that might have put it from 3 to 4 as far as the cousins go.
Right.
Seconds. I feel like the first time around, a third cousin, that could come off as a funny story because I think by third cousin, it gets to a level where it's abstract. It's not like you can really map this out.
For sure, yeah.
Well, I got to say, too, I started looking up what Anthony was telling me because I like Joe, was completely wrong about what second, first cousins, once removed stuff means. And so it seems like your second cousin in one way is somebody that you might have never met anyway. So I'm going to what Joe said, too. If you're not at Thanksgiving with this person, then maybe it's not that big of a deal.
Would you pop for a second?
All right.
Again, it depends on appearance. If it's like
sure.
Fire,
but I mean,
and I'm just
we're
like,
talking
to be like,
for all intents and purposes, this person is very attractive to you.
Yeah, I got a great scenario, guys. Okay,
hit us.
All right. So let's say it's like my grandparents, like sister, brother, right? Married, like, let's say a Thai woman, and they had a child, and then that child, had a child with a like an African woman, like from Africa.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And then that's the person that I hook up. I feel like
because they're a different race, it makes them less related.
You like how much genetic shit's going on? That's
exactly. It's very far away from me, so it's not like it's, you know what I mean. Like, so I know for sure that their lines came from, you know what I mean.
Yeah, that looks good. I mean, it definitely looks much better.
Yeah, it looks better.
If you're bringing them around to the family.
And that's got to be a beautiful woman at that point.
Yeah, see, that looks very nice. If you're bringing around a replica of you and their family, probably get dicey.
Yeah, big time.
So basically, as long as none of us are banging a white chick cousin, we're good.
There's a lot of communities. There's a lot of communities that still practice this kind of stuff of like just cousins like hooking up and
no doubt.
arranged marriages and stuff.
Well,
Allie sees a lot of them at work.
Let's talk about Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve, right? Like if that's the way it went, they had kids. And then what?
Oh yeah, they were all banging each other, no doubt.
Do you
They're
mean
all
in a creationist way? You mean like if we took it literally?
Yeah, if we took it literally, you have to assume that Cain and Abel were they must have been getting in there with Eve, which is even crazier.
You have to assume too
Exactly.
they were like probably really smart and like really good looking and like
Super
like
good
like
looking.
the peak human beings. And then the more they all had sex with each other, the less like the more fucked up everyone became.
Right.
Yeah,
you know how mad Adam was that he had like 2 sons?
Yeah,
That's true.
He was like, God damn you.
It's also cute to think that like the first people who discovered sex for the first time decided to stop at 2 kids. Like I doubt it. I bet they kept going.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
This is odd because Joey, we just got a text from Chris Verderama. I don't know if you want to read it.
I didn't
just
see
read it as soon as you see it.
Guys, I'm straight and I don't have the coronavirus.
A pretty interesting text to get.
I'm very happy about the second one. The first
I guess he
one,
got
do you,
tested.
bro. That's cool.
You got tested? Do you think you got tested for both?
I don't know. Guys, can I tell you something? I ordered a shirt. I ordered a t-shirt today. Is this in poor taste? I ordered an Olympics Tokyo 2020 shirt.
Nice.
No, because I think it's going to be like your resale value there is pretty. I think that's an investment. I'm not mad at you.
That's fun, right?
Are you
I
gonna
think
wear
you
it?
guys should all get one. Oh,
This
hell
is
yeah.
for wearing, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But maybe one day I'll sell it. But like, I should have bought a bunch more, right? Oh,
I'm gonna
Chris
start
just
making
wrote back.
them online.
Our friend just wrote April Fools about being straight. So
Wait.
Okay,
So that means he has Corona?
yeah.
Ooh.
Oh.
Mm.
Oh boy.
Wow.
I'll take a
Okay. Wow.
moment
This
of
is a
silence.
roller coaster. It is April Fool's Day.
It is April Fool's Day. Yeah.
Oh, what a bomb to drop. That's wild.
Maybe
It's
it's
not a second cousin, is it?
Well, we don't know.
Yeah, hard to say.
just
That's the other.
leap before you look.
We don't know. We never know who's our second cousin at any point.
Well, me
Yeah.
and my fiance found out that the Irish side of our like families are both from the same county in Ireland. So like there's a possibility there's some relation there if you go back far enough, you know.
Yeah.
Are you gonna dig around? Are you interested in finding out?
Not really. Like,
Well, wait.
And
You-
if
you
I
wanna
did
do
find out, I wouldn't really care that much.
But yeah, you want to do your genealogy because you're Maltese, so you might
I want
as well.
I want someone that I'm closely related to do it. I don't want to give them my information.
So
Or
Joe's
piece of the
family,
ball.
if you guys don't know, Joe's from Malta. He found out that he's actually not Italian; he's Maltese.
I would like
Ooh,
more of my
interesting.
cousins, my first cousins, to do this test and let me know because I want to make sure that we're Maltese.
Oh,
I think
you got your gifts down for the next couple of years.
What do you mean? Oh yeah, you're right. That's a good point.
Yeah,
It's
there
like
you
a
go.
gift for both of us.
Yeah, that's
Can
so
I buy them
funny.
Ancestry.com gifts.
That's really funny to do.
I never buy them gifts up.
I know.
I have like I'm not kidding. I have like 22 cousins, and so we just don't buy each other gifts.
Oh, that's too many.
So it'd be
yeah.
very
that's too
funny if I
many.
just showed up one year like I got you guys something.
You're just like, hey, you swab your mouth. I got you this.
Do it. Spit in my mouth first, and then we'll combine it. Just to be sure.
Oh wow, 22 cousins. I mean, the likelihood of you having the scenario that we've been talking about
I
all
know.
night is much more than me. I
Oh, it's
have
gonna
not
happen.
that
And
many.
And they're all gorgeous. They're all
Can't
beautiful.
happen. Yeah, it's a good-looking family.
Oh, that's interesting. because I
Frankie is
didn't
such a
think about
handsome man.
Yeah.
Was Frankie still looking good?
Oh yeah, he's looking great. He's got a kid.
He does?
Yeah.
Frankie.
that. Sweet
So is it
Frankie.
the new question? How many of Joe's cousins are we gonna sleep with?
You guys go for it. Have fun.
And I don't even feel bad.
Yeah, no one
Wow.
should.
That's amazing. You know what? It's amazing that Joe is so okay with us sleeping with his cousins. And you know what, Joe? Please have sex with the Casey Joes.
Oh, thank you.
There you go.
I can't find her because when I Google her, your brother just keeps coming up. That's the weirdest part. I look up Casey Joe's woman and it's just pictures of Colin. I looked it up earlier to find her.
That's weird.
How do I find Colin? How do I find Casey Joe's the woman?
I remember it being on Facebook mostly. If you search on
Okay.
Facebook for Casey Jost, that's
Okay,
kinda how
that
you
makes
do it.
sense.
But
Zoom
now
in
I'm
some.
saying it on this podcast. Like I want everyone to do it, but that's kind of fun.
Send us your favorite female Casey Jost if you're listening to this. Tweet at us your favorite female Casey.
And by law, Casey has to sleep with her.
One of them, yeah. At least he'll be fine with this, right?
This one.
Yeah, that'll be a good story.
I think so.
It's your brand.
If it's a story, how mad can you be?
Yeah, you don't have to like it. I mean, there's lots of stuff we don't like. So I mean, come on.
But you do it because it has to be done. Because
That's
we're
right.
men.
For the gram. We gotta do it for the gram.
Kaiser for the Grum.
That's how I explain it to my significant other when I do something. I say, I had to do it because I was a man. That goes over very well.
Speaking of a thing I have to do because I'm a man, is I have to eat dinner with my wife. She's cooked a delicious eggplant parmesan dinner.
So did mine. She's making salmon right now.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say eggplant.
No.
Unbelievable. I'm jealous.
I'm going to find out tonight if we are related.
It's about time to find out that kind of
You got to lead with that. So you might as well ask now.
Look it up after you guys do the deed.
During.
Yeah. Good idea.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. Take a break and look it up.
Yeah.
Just like I'll take her blood. And
Yeah.
be like, no, it's for genealogy.
Yeah. Or you find out and lay it on her during the deed. That'd be fun too. Like you're never gonna believe this.
During entry.
Yeah.
So
on entry.
Is there, Anthony or NEJ? Is there any kind of wrap up? Do you pick a winner or something, or did we not do this right?
No, we did it just fine. I think it's nebulous.
This was a nebulous one. Sometimes
Yeah.
there's an answer. This one, there's not really an answer.
Yeah, there's
all
the
won.
rare occasion where we all agree, but I
We're
think
all
this
winners.
time it's just a little nebulous. So I think, you do you.
All right.
All right.
do your
Everyone go
cousin.
home and fuck a cousin tonight.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay. I
Call
mean,
it about
actually,
it.
we're still social distancing, so don't do it for that reason.
At least wear protection if you're gonna rim your cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah, but definitely sext them tonight. Everybody
Yeah.
sext your cousin.
Yeah, exactly.
Sex your
Copy and
cousin.
paste a sext to all your cousins.
You don't breathe on each other, but you can do everything else.
Well, thank you guys so much for doing the podcast, and make sure to check out. I want to
Let me ask you a question.
LMAYAQ.
Yeah, LMAYAQ Pod on most of the social media, or let me ask you a question at gmail.com, or also moot.tv is the place where the podcast lives. So if you head over to moot.tv, you can find all our episodes there. That's probably the best way to find us. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you,
Oh,
and
yeah.
send Greg our best.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having
right.
us
Hope he
on.
joins
Had a
right
great
now.
time.
Yeah, we'll have you guys on again another time. This was so fun.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Please,
Likewise.
I love it. And
Yeah.
come back on our show again. We love guests.
Yeah,
Good
it's great.
All right, later,
take it
y'all.
easy, guys. Bye.